Just gonna say, I did a video on this about 2, 3 weeks ago when the Black Lives Matter movement was at its high, and I deleted it. I was like, I didn't want to start shit. I didn't want to start shit. But look what's happened. You know what? The protests are still going on in America. Some people still got on their Twitter their little BLM. But in the public's eye, in the whole world's eye, about a month's gone by, no one gives a shit anymore. Because it's an internet trend. That's all things are today. They exist on the internet for about a month, maybe two max, and once the trend's gone, it may still exist on a country level, like maybe America, is still going on about it, but the rest of the world has just gone, fuck it, we don't care anymore. And that's the hard truth. But personally, from my point of view, I did not care about it when it even begun. Just didn't. One black guy died, and he died tragically. It was wrong. What the cops did were wrong. But that became martyrism because apparently, based on what happened to this one individual, every single situation where a black man or black woman has died due to police as a whole, now every single of those situations, the police are guilty. That's what it did. People were judging everything as a whole and not based on the individual situations. It became mob mentality. If you're a police officer and a black person died, it's instantly your fault. Already I hate that. I hate mob mentality. For me, the one way you're going to find justice is looking at each case individually, finding out what happened, and then you can come to a conclusion once you have all the facts on a case. I hate turning around and saying, because this happened to one person, it means all of them happened. I wanted to establish that. Two, from statistics from America itself, and last time the statistics were done were 2018. It was the last one I've been able to find online. More black people in America are killed by black people than by white people or by cops. More black people kill black people. Does that get addressed? No. Because black people cannot play a victim complex unless it's white people or cops. They can't play a victim complex against their own kind because it makes them look stupid. That subject's never brought up. Black people don't get on social media and say, we have to do something about ourselves. No, because victim complex. Really trying to tread the line here. Two, from Black Lives Matter to the whole gender, we just went through Pride Month. And to me, I did my part. Not this year, but in the past. I'm Australian. A few years ago, we did the voting for gay marriage, and I fully supported it. So, some of my friends are lesbian, bisexual, two gay guys. I've known them for friggin' ages. They both have been married since then because I've seen their relationships, and they got two of the most healthy relationships I've ever seen. For me, it wasn't even a question. Regardless if they want a piece of paper to make it legal or whatever, I was just like, yep, let them get married. I don't give a shit about whatever religion shit says. Let gay people get married. But that didn't satisfy the LGBT community because as soon as they got what they wanted, they're still bitching about other stuff. They're never going to be happy. The LGBT community, or LGBT plus all the other fucking retarded genders that keeps growing, they're never going to be happy. No matter what happens. No matter what happens. They will never be happy. So why have I given up personally on supporting the LGBT community in general? And why did I not give a shit about the Black Lives Matter? Cop, cops killing black people. What was it, 2019? I was able to find the statistics for that one. 400 and I think it was 50, 480, between 450 to 480 cases. There are over 45 million black people in America, and you have around 450 deaths. Then you consider how many black people are born every year. Like, it's not that bad a trade. I mean, it's wrong. It's unfortunate, but shit. People are gonna die all the fucking time, regardless. Every single day, you go to sleep, you wake up. Every single day, people die, people are born. Friggin' balance. And when you walk around and you live your life, you're ignorant to how many people are dying around the world. You don't give a shit because you don't know them. It's only when something gets blown up on media do you start thinking, oh, we got to care about this tiny ass minority. And even in their population of 450 million, it's like 450, 480 people die from this specific case. And you're like, oh, we got to change it. You're just like, I don't care. And this is how I justify this, specifically with America. This is how I view shit. You're bitching about 450 deaths a year from police brutality. America, supposed to be the greatest country on the planet, dictates how the world works, holds so much influence over the rest of the world. Close anywhere between 3 to 4 billion people in the world, population-wise, live in poverty. We can take India, we can take China, countries in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, most of Africa, all living in poverty. India and China alone are a large portion. They hold about a third of the world's population. And in that poverty, heaps of them die from sickness or just not having food and everything. And people go about their lives. They don't give a shit. They give zero fucks. Oh, look, we donated our $5 a month to this friggin' cause so people can have toothbrushes. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck about that. That's never trending. Humanity doesn't wake up as a country or as nations or the UN and they're like, you know what, we have to get together. We're gonna lift countries out of poverty. We want countries like India, China. We want countries in Africa. We want to turn them into first world countries. We want to lift humanity out of this shit so that everyone can live equally. Equally. Worldwide equality. No. No one gives a shit about that. You America, especially, this goes for any first world country, but I'm going to target the Americans here because they're the ones recently with the whole Black Lives Matter shit. You fuckers don't give a shit about where all your products come from. We'll call them products. Your Nike, your Adidas, your Puma, all that friggin' shit, all that brand shit, all comes from China. Fully aware. Sweatshops, children, women working in these friggin' things, getting paid next to fucking nothing, treated like shit to produce these fucking most basic shoe items, which are gonna be taken from there and then sold in your country. Oh, look, I got the latest Nikes, $500. Only costs 50 cents to make in fucking China. The level of ignorance of a country that wants to start worldwide trending Black Lives Matter for 450 deaths a year when half of the world is in shit. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. You should not be turning around and making the whole world moan and bitch about such a small number of deaths. Like, think of it on a global scale. Anywhere between 6 to 7, no, 7 billion people inhabit the world, and you're bitching about 450 deaths a year. But it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. But like, fuck. As I pointed out before, more black people in America dying to other black people, and you don't fucking bring that up. You're so busy with the victim complex, you ignore everything else. Because everything that I brought up, black people killing black people, the rest of the world in poverty, you fuckers don't give a shit about that. Because it's not gonna help you look like a victim. That is why I give zero fucks about the LGBT community now. They, specifically in Australia, like from my point of view, they can get married, they can live their lives, they can get jobs anywhere they want. Out here, we got unions. I swear to God, you get into a job, and just say if there's me when I was working in hospitality when I was 30 years old, and I was a cook, and if there is another guy or woman there, 30 years old, cook, but gay, they're going to get paid the same as me because we get paid based on job title and age. If we don't, we go to the union, we sue whoever we're working for. It's that simple. You might get sexism or racism still, but that's words. When I was growing up, you're getting bullied, there's two ways to approach it. You just keep attacking the bully back, in which case the bully knows they're getting a kick out of you, so they continue bullying you. You ignore the bully doesn't get anything from you, sooner or later they just give up, they fuck off. You need to block out the shit in the world and just ignore it. All the bullying, all the racism and shit, just fucking ignore it. And it just goes away. Concentrate on living your shit. Instead, the more you moan and bitch about it, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. And in all honesty, I think it's impossible to get rid of things like racism and sexism. You're never going to get rid of it. Not unless you invent laws that make it illegal to even speak the words, but if you do that, you go against free speech. You remove free speech. You're pretty much doing what the Nazis did, or even the Russians did, when they start saying, "Oh, you can't say bad things about these people." They had that during the whole Nazi World War II type shit. You could not say certain things about the government policies because you'd be seen as treason. They kill your ass. You can't create laws like that. You can't turn around and say the people being racist and sexist are like Nazis. No, because your only solution is to create laws that police speech. And the moment you do that, you become the Nazi. Because words spoken are only as bad as you let them to be. But when you start controlling what people say, you become the tyrant. So, just to sum this 15-minute video up, Black Lives Matter. I tried saying all lives matter, and what did the Black Lives Matter people turn around and say? They're like, no, we're trying to bring focus on black people specifically. I'm like, you assholes got mass shootings all over the country. You got school shootings. I've talked to you Americans. Get rid of the Second Amendment. Bring in gun laws. Make it so you have to get licenses to have guns. Nah, you're not taking away our fucking guns. You Americans deserve everything you're getting. You're one of the most retarded countries in the fucking world. You got no public health care. You arm your civilians with guns. You're currently saying we want to abolish the police and cut funding. Think of this from a police perspective. Every single time they go out to a crime scene, every single time they have to go out to domestic violence report, And you're saying, oh, we want to take the guns away from the police. Every time they go out, every civilian they encounter could be armed. They could knock at the door at domestic violence. There's a husband in there beating his friggin' wife, and he could open the door with a fucking gun and just shoot the cop. But you don't think of that. You're like, oh, take the guns away from the cops, but let the civilians keep their guns for protection. That's why I'm at the point where I don't give a shit about America. This is the type of country that deserves everything that's happening to it right now. It's the country that put the rest of the world through shit. Ever since the friggin' the whole Vietnamese War and shit. Ever since America took full power, it hasn't governed the world well. It's been a piece of fucking shit that drags Australia into everything, drags England into everything, and they're like, oh, we saved your ass. And I'm like, look at it this way. Someone in America said, if we didn't come in, you'd be under control of Imperial Japan. At this point, I think we would have been better off with fucking Japan. We would have been probably better off. Because if any American is actually proud of their country, 2020 has been a sign of how shit your country is. Fucking coronavirus out of control, people protesting on the streets despite help. Your protests are helping the coronavirus spread through your fucking country. Black Lives Matter, you're talking shit out of your ass on a victim complex, the whole LGBT. The LGBT community is actually killing the religious community because their feelings are hurt on their gender. It's almost like if you're religious, you're the bad guy now. And it's got nothing to do with Trump. This has nothing to do with your president. He's a dickhead. He's gutless. But this is the people. The people are just as bad because it's your way of living. And I know I'll cop a lot of hatred for this, but honestly, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit at this point. I don't care about people's feelings. Fuck your feelings. I'm brutally honest. I'm gonna give my opinion. And my opinion and my honesty is America is one of the piece of shit countries in the world. It's one of the biggest piece of shit countries in the world. And it deserves everything it's currently going through.